My mother and my grandmother used to feed me like crazy back when I was a kid. The food used to be extremely rich and fatty with a ton of ghee and oil. But it was extremely tasty. And this is probably why I developed a bad habit of overeating. I literally had no control over what I ate, how much I ate, or when I ate. And of course, eating healthy was never an option. But what I loved equally was just being outdoors, be it football or just hanging out with my friends playing random games. This is probably why I was never considered fat or even obese, because I was just a normal kid with my clothes on. But when my shirt came off, I had a big pot belly, skinny arms, and tiny shoulders. And if you're watching this in your teens or 20s or even 30s, let me tell you one thing: you need to take action, because being skinny fat is the worst physique of all. Even more than just being skinny or just being fat. As an adult, when you're skinny fat, you have an ugly amount of fat collected around your waist and your belly, and there's no muscle definition around your arms or your legs. It's actually even worse when you don't work out or do any kind of physical activity, because your body has adapted to this sedentary lifestyle of not doing anything, just eating and sitting around. So what will happen then is, over time, your body is going to start collecting more fat and start using up a lot more muscle to just sustain yourself. Mind you, your weight is going to be literally the same, because your body is collecting fat and shrinking muscle. So the weight is balanced out, and you are going to pay the price, not just for the way you look, but also your health, because muscle is the most important organ in your body to keep you healthy and your immunity in check. So overall, you are not going to be healthy or look good at the same time. And that's why these two steps are absolutely crucial for you for the next 4 to 6 months, especially if you are a beginner and are starting your journey into fitness for the very first time. These steps are also great for people at an intermediate level who have been into fitness for a while but are not seeing any kind of results, especially while trying to lose their stubborn belly fat. Alright, so the first step is to completely forget about cutting or bulking. That is, your goal should not be to just lose fat by eating less, or just gain muscle and fat by eating more. What you need to be doing is to gain muscle and lose fat at the same time. And this is called body recomposition. So what you do during a body recomposition stage is that you start eating the right amount of food that your body needs, so you neither gain weight nor lose weight. So basically what I'm trying to say is, you stay at a caloric maintenance. Listen to me, when you're a beginner on a caloric maintenance diet, you start gaining muscle and losing fat all at the same time for the next 4 to 6 months. This is also called as the noob gain stage. This is very true and not a myth. You gain the most amount of muscle and lose a lot of fat for the first few months of your fitness journey. So you don't waste this crucial time by just cutting or bulking, which is not very optimal. But just because you're on a calorie maintenance diet, it doesn't mean you can have whatever you want. You need to have a structured diet plan in place. And what I mean by a good diet plan is that you need to first calculate your calorie goal and then fix your macros. That is your proteins, fats, and carbs, focusing a lot more on proteins. The second step is to follow a structured workout program. And by structured program, I do not mean workout splits, where you train a muscle group once, twice, or even thrice a week, because honestly, it's not going to make a big difference as a beginner. You're still going to make a lot of gains working out a muscle group just once a week, which by the way is called a bro split. But what I'm talking about is the way you perform your exercises. I personally follow something called as a reverse pyramid style training, where you start with the heaviest weight first and then reduce the weight with every consecutive set. So let's say, for example, I am doing bicep curls and I start with 20 kg dumbbells in both the hands. I do about 15 to 20 reps, and then when I'm done, I take a rest for 2 to 3 minutes. Then I move down in weight for the next set. So let's say from 20 kgs, I move down to 15 kgs for the second set. Again, I do 15 to 20 reps, then take rest for 2 to 3 minutes. And for the third and final set, I go even lower in weight. So from 15 kg, I move down to 12.5 kg. And then I do 15 to 20 more reps and the exercise is done. You should also keep in mind that I'm always going to failure. That is, you have to completely max out every set. I don't care what anybody says, but I personally have gained the most amount of muscle by going up to failure. That is completely maxing out every set. And that's probably why I take a longer rest time instead of the regular crowd that only rests for 30 seconds to 1 minute per set. And that's what going to failure does to you. You have to take a longer rest time so you can push yourself for the next set. And the best part that I've discovered with reverse pyramid style training is that you can easily progressively overload. The easiest way you progressively overload is by simply increasing the weight or reps every week. And progressive overloading is extremely important during a body recomposition program. So for example, let's say for the first week you start with 10 kg for the first set, and then for the second set you go down to 7.5 kg, and the last set 5 kg. What you do then is next week you start with a higher weight. For the first set, start with 12.5 kg, then move down to 10 kg, and the last set you go to 7.5 kg. This is how you progressively overload. But if you're not able to increase weight, simply increase the number of reps that you perform. If you're only able to perform 10 reps, the next week try to go up to 12 reps or even 15 reps. Just these two concepts of body recomposition and reverse pyramid style training with a heavy focus on progressive overload is going to help you get out of your skinny fat era. If you just commit for the next 4 to 6 months of following this, I can personally guarantee that you're going to look absolutely incredible. And the best part is that you're never going to look skinny fat ever in your life. Unless you majorly screw up by not going to the gym at all or eating absolute junk like a glutton. If you simply stick to these concepts, you'll be very thankful that you've watched this video. And you'll find a lot of free resources in the description that'll help you with everything that I've mentioned in this video.